Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jesse here with another Pickle Madness review. And today we're going to be taking a look at Engage's new Pursuit MAXX series. Now within the Engage Pursuit series, you have several different lines, such as the Pro, the MAXX, which is this paddle, the Ultra, which was discontinued, and the original Pursuit line. But today I'm going to be talking about this specific paddle that I have in my hands, the Pursuit MAXX MX 6.0, and the lightweight version, weighing in at 7.95 ounces, which is kind of in between the lightweight and the standard weight per the measurements on the Engage website. So first off, I want to talk about this paddle's power. Now, the Pro Series version of this is known to have a lot of power for a 16 millimeter. The MAXX MX 6.0 has a solid amount of power, but not as much as the Pro version. This is not necessarily a bad thing if you're looking for more control, which typically people are when they're looking for a 16 millimeter paddle versus a 14 millimeter paddle. Now, a big difference between the Pursuit Pro series and the Pursuit MAXX series is the Pursuit Pro series has injected composite material around the outer cells of the core, whereas the Pursuit MAXX series has foam injected along the outline of the paddle, more like a traditional thermoform paddle. I found that when playing with this paddle, I had no issues hitting drives from the baseline. I also had no issues putting any balls away. So in my opinion, this has plenty of power. I'd say the power is comparable to a Rhombus R3 Nova and maybe slightly less than the Yellow Perseus 16 millimeter. Now for control, of course, this is the 16 millimeter version of the Pursuit MAXX MX paddles. So this is quite a bit softer than the 14 millimeter version of this paddle. Also, Engage claims they use a softer core than any other paddle maker in the industry. This paddle definitely has really solid touch, though I think the MAXX does not hold the ball for as long on the surface as the Pro Series does, which is to be expected considering this is a cheaper paddle by $60 and it's missing some of the features of the Pro Series. However, I had no issues playing a control game with this paddle. Dinking and drop shots are quite easy to do with this paddle. For any people who've used diadem paddles out there, I'd put this paddle in between the Edge 18K Standard and the Power Pro model in terms of where it sits for control. The spin is really great on this paddle. It's not the highest, it's not the lowest, but you definitely get enough spin to hit pretty much any kind of shot you would need to. Unless you're really trying to get excessive spin to do something crazy, you're not gonna need more than what this paddle offers. And for the price, this is a really solid paddle. It retails at $199.99. You can get it at picklemadness.com for 20% off, so that would take it down to $180, which puts it in the range of 6.0, the Rhombus Nova series, and some other popular, less expensive thermoform paddles. The only thing I can potentially see as a downside for some players is the handle circumference. Engage tends to have thicker grips, that have thicker handles than most other paddles. In particular, the Pursuit series has a circumference of 4 3/8 inches, whereas standard for paddles is typically 4 1/4 inches. So it's a bit thicker. If you're someone with small hands, it's a lot harder to make a handle smaller than it is to make it bigger. So for people with bigger hands, this is definitely not gonna be a problem. But if you are somebody with smaller hands, you may wanna consider the grip circumference as a factor when looking at this paddle. A couple of other upgrades that Engage has added to its newer line of paddles, including the MAXX series, is vibration dampening technology to help out with tennis elbow and also to make the paddles a little bit quieter. They're still not super quiet. They have a much damper, more dull sound when the ball hits, especially when compared to something like the Black Ace, which has a really high-pitched, sharp sound when it makes contact with the ball. Thank you for watching the Pickle Madness review of the Engage Pursuit MX 6.0. If you'd like to purchase this paddle, you can do so in the link in the description below. There's also a 20% off code for Engage only. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.